Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, with a deck interview using the Magnificent Mankind National Geographic deck. So a deck not intended for divination at all. I did an initial review and walkthrough already, so that video is already up. But to see how it will work for divination, I will do a deck interview. Oh, and here's my usual yawning, and I needed it today. I probably will do a lot of yawning. We have a new member to our doggy household here, so hopefully we won't get too much in the way of interruption as people as dogs get used to each other. Oh my goodness. What are you here to teach people? We got the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I don't know enough about the Leaning Tower of Pisa, except maybe teaching people to continue to stand despite, I don't know if it's flaws, or for some reason I thought it had something to do with their underpinning. It was not right. Anyway. But it's still standing, so there's something. Maybe it's here to teach us to not give up over minor issues or something of that nature. Too funny. So, and this may occur more than once, that I don't know enough about the place to give a completely accurate or in-depth response. Number 2, how would you describe yourself? So this is how the deck would describe itself. Oh, that's interesting. So, the pyramids of Giza. Now, I think of the pyramids, I mean, people have many associations with pyramids, but I think their purpose was, if I'm correct, they were elaborate mausoleums, essentially burial sites for nobles. And of course, those kinds of burials of noble people are full of all kinds of things, so they were, they kind of give a picture of that person's life, and also how people thought about them. It gives an impression of their wealth, and so I guess I see this as saying that it's, how would you describe yourself? It's, for one thing, contained, self-contained, as a pyramid is, and kind of a museum. A museum. And I would say, from what I've seen of this deck, it's a museum of accomplishments, actually. Because a lot of what's in here are things that have lasted, but that are human accomplishments in the sense of being structures. Things that are made, or have been made. Not all, but a lot of it. So 3, what is your opinion of me? So what is the deck's opinion of me? Well, it would be that, Queen of Pentacles, they say. It's the Queen of Diamonds, which I sometimes think of as the diamonds as more the swords, because the diamonds are what cut, right? The spades churn the earth. But that isn't the way people normally do them. But anyway, it's nice that it's a queen. Even though there are no real associations here, okay? There's nobody at National Geographic was saying, oh, Queen of Pentacles or Queen of Swords. I'll put the Roman Colosseum on here. So it sees me, its opinion of me is that I am the Roman Colosseum. And my male dog, who no longer is able to do anything, is not convinced of that fact. And so my new pack member is a female, and so he thinks he has to perform. Yeah. Rufus. Doofus. And he knows that I'm... Oh, he's going to leave. I can't believe he won't be back. Oh, and she's going to leave. Alright, maybe they're going to play. So the Roman Colosseum. Round. I certainly have my roundnesses. It's opinion of me. Well, things are on display. I do put my things on display. You know, I do readings on my Facebook, on my website, and I do readings here. So, I can see that. So, theater. I've always said that I'm kind of, that the theater of giving a tarot reading is something that I'm actually not very good at. It was amusing. I got my brother a Viking deck. He has no interest in reading cards, but I told him I expected him to give me a reading since I gave him this deck. But he is into our Swedish background and the whole Viking thing to some extent. So I got him the Viking cards in. And so, I mean, you know, he lit candles, and this was at my parents' house for Christmas. He lit candles and turned down the lights and was totally into the theater aspect of it, which just reminded me how much I'm not. But anyway, there it is. Deck's opinion of me is that I'm the Roman Colosseum. Number 4, how can I best collaborate with this deck? So I do have another site that I'm really not that familiar with. It says Monumental Arches in Palmyra, Syria. So I have to go by the picture. Maybe doing 4 cards readings, because I see 4 of these, and who knows, maybe there's 10, I don't know, but I see 4 of them in the picture, and they have 4 pillars. This also reminds me, I can't really grab it at the moment. I would be afraid of knocking over other things, but it reminds me of the frame of my, what is that, sand clock thing, timer, oh, alright, I don't know what it is, so I will get it. Hourglass, that's what it is. My hourglass has 4 posts and something on the top. Oh my goodness. So, so maybe doing limited readings, a certain number of minutes. I am going to have to go check on something. Just a minute. Lordy, my apologies. I hope he gets over it soon. When he first came into my house, Rufus, giant Rufus doofus, and he's not giant, he's not as big as a Great Dane or anything, but he's a pretty big shepherd. When he first came into my home, it was the same day he was neutered, and he immediately fell in love with my old Beagle Cross and gave her a lot of attention, and then after about a week he gave it up. She was just another dog. So I'm really hoping that this other dog will become just another dog in due time. Hopefully now that he's been neutered for quite some time, it'll happen faster than it did with Ginger. So my apologies for that. Like, I don't edit my videos, and I'm not going to start over for this. So here we go. So yeah, I'd have to look up the Palmyra arches in order to really understand quite how that would apply to how I would collaborate with the deck. 5. What are your strengths as a deck? We have Easter Island faces. So what would that be? Strengths as a deck. Maybe enduring, kind of bearing witness. That's what I see these as, bearing witness. I don't remember what the Easter Island figures are supposed to represent. I think they face the sea. So, you know, as a guard against calamity, maybe. As a tribute, maybe. Anyway, interesting. I'll eventually have to try this with a different sort of spread and see what comes up. Number 6. What are your weaknesses or limitations of the deck? This is interesting. So here's a tree. There's a person on there climbing the tree. But I would see that, to me, I would see this, the trees, as being aligned with spirit or spiritual aspirations. And so if this is a weakness of the deck, then this to me would mean that this is not a deck for spiritual seeking or spiritual inquiries, which is fine with me because I lean toward the more practical anyway. What is the potential outcome of our time together? We have Venice, the Grand Canal. The potential of our time together as Venice. Evening. Well, here we have sort of, again, the mood lighting. So maybe it's getting back to the whole notion of doing something that's kind of more ceremonial. Rufus! It's like she moves. She moves to scratch herself. And he's like, oh, I have to go mount her. Doofus. Resist. Doofus. Resist. And I have him in here with her because he's actually, you know, even though he's being amorous, he's more friendly. I may have to do a change of the guard and invite Ginger in because I think she'll totally ignore this dog. Whereas he halfway ignores her and the other half of the time thinks he needs to go check on whether she'll let him mount her, which she does. She doesn't care. She's just a totally mellow dog at this point. She's a yellow lamb. Venice as the outcome. Well, you know, Venice is a romantic. So that's a curious association. Venice is a romantic place. It's emotional, if we think of water as emotion. It's all very curious. I would say it's for me, it's turning out to be a difficult reading deck, which is not going to keep me from it, because to me it just means that I'm not going to get the best use out of it until I spend some time with each of the cards and maybe each of the places and do a little research that will help me understand what a card is getting at when it comes up. Okay, 2 more questions. What is the one thing you ask of me? Something it is asking of me. How cute. So one of the few people, but to me this is have a child mind. You know, a sense of humor, a sense of play. So that I get. That I get. And I love that, okay? Most decks are a little more demanding of me. Or they say, you know, give me a year, give it time, you know. Okay, last one. What kind of readings do you enjoy the most? Of course, it gives me this card, which is totally baffling to me. I don't understand this place at all. I don't even know what those structures are. I don't know if they're homes. It's Haran, Turkey. Or if they're kilns. To me, they look more like kilns. Alright, so there it is. A deck interview that will, it's a joker. It's a joker. That this card's, what kind of readings do you like to do? It's a joker. So, I don't know. So, I will have to come back to that. I will record what cards came up for this deck interview, and when I get familiar with the deck, I will return to it and see if I have a better understanding of what was being communicated. So, but there you go. There's an attempt to read with the Magnificent Mankind cards from National Geographic. Not at all intended for divination or anything of the sort, but I figured give it a try. I'm also going to be doing, I did one with the Extraordinary Earth and enjoyed using that deck, and to me the deck interview made more sense, and I'm going to do one more with one they call the Amazing Animals, and see what I can get out of that. Alright everybody, take care, bye bye.